the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution, the world's first stored program computer, to the isolation of graphene, the city is always innovating. As so frequently stated in the 19th century, what Manchester does today, the world does tomorrow. Now known as Piccadilly Gardens, which lies on the left, was occupied by water-filled clay pits called the Daub Holes. In 1755, the Manchester Royal Infirmary was built here. The majority of the hospital buildings were demolished in 1910, and in 1914 the area was finally cleared and transformed into a large space within the city centre. Printworks entertainment venue is located on the site of the business premises of the 19th century newspaper proprietor Edward Holton, established in 1873. Currently, parts of the cathedral date back to 1215. There has been a church on this site for around 1300 years. The cathedral was badly damaged during the Christmas Blitz of 1940. Fortunately, most of the woodwork survived. The Cathedral Church of St. John the Evangelist is better known as Salford Cathedral. It was the Roman Catholic cathedral for the region and was designed by Matthew Hadfield and opened on the 9th of August 1814. On the 25th of July 1851, William Turner was consecrated the first bishop of Salford. The cathedral's eastern window of 1856 depicts the history of Catholic Christianity.
Salford Museum, Art Gallery and the University. Off now.
The pleasant green space on the right here, with the statues of Queen Victoria and Prince Albert, is surrounded by notable buildings. The oldest of these is the elegant central structure and was adapted from a former private mansion called Lark Hill. This is now Salford Museum and Art Gallery. The Museum and Art Gallery, with its interesting collections, are free of charge and contain a recreation of a 19th century Salford street, Lark Hill Place. The park behind the building, Peel Park, was the first joint municipal park in the United Kingdom. The University of Salford. The fierce red building to the left of the Museum and Art Gallery, as we look at it, was opened as the Royal Technical Institute in 1896 by Henry Lloyd. The institute eventually became the University of Salford in 1967. MediaCityUK is the nation's largest concentration of media, principally occupied by almost 2,500 BBC staff, who started to arrive in 2011. Among the buildings is Key House, which broadcasts BBC Breakfast, Match of the Day, BBC Radio 5 Live, and North West Tonight. Then there's Bridge House, where Blue Peter, Mastermind, Dragon's Den, and CBBC are produced. In the main square of MediaCityUK is a large screen, but the dominant building is the studios, with its strong colours. This contains 7 high-definition studios. One of the studios is occupied by the BBC Philharmonic Orchestra. Lowry was born in Old Trafford, the home of Manchester United. He was a Manchester City supporter. He lived in Greater Manchester in various homes all his life. His work gradually gained fame during his lifetime. Their deceptively simple nature and frequently homely themes creating a populist appeal. He is famous for his industrial scenes, but should also be remembered for his eerie and desolate landscapes and seascapes. The so-called world's thinnest material. As we come into the city centre, there is a large church on the left. This is St George's Church and was designed by Francis Goodwin and opened in 1828. It has now been deconsecrated and converted into apartments. The tower is one large apartment of 9 floors. Bridgewater Hall opened in 1996 and was the first freestanding concert hall built in the UK since 1951. It's the home of Manchester's Halle Orchestra, one of the oldest permanent professional orchestras in the world. Manchester Central Convention Complex is an exhibition and conference centre converted from the former Manchester Central Railway Station. The station was the northern terminus for services to London and opened in July 1880. After 89 years as a railway terminus, it closed to passengers in May 1969. It was renovated as an exhibition centre and was opened by the Queen in 1982. Midland Hotel was built in 1903 by Charles Trupshaw for the Midland Railway Company. On May 4th, 1904, Charles Rolls met local manufacturer Frederick Royce in the hotel. Together, they created the Rolls-Royce Motor Company. Inside Adam Reed's celebrated French restaurant, diners have included Winston Churchill and General Patton. The Beatles were once refused entry because they were dressed inappropriately. The Midland was where David Beckham dated Posh Spice or Victoria Adams when he played at Manchester United. Attention, we will surely be travelling underneath an electric tram here. To your safety, please stay seated.
My fingers are on nuts. Mine have too. Well, they're fizzy, which is worse than numb.
From the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution, the world's first stored program computer, to the isolation of graphene, the city is always innovating. As so frequently stated in the 19th century, what Manchester does today, the world does tomorrow.